swear or affirm that I will support, obey and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of my office as a member of the Selinsgrove Borough Council with fidelity. That I have not paid or contributed, or promised to pay or contribute, either directly or indirectly, any money or valuable thing to procure my nomination or election, except the necessary and proper expenses expressly authorized by law. I will not willingly receive, directly or indirectly, any money or valuable thing for the performance of non-performance of any act or duty pertaining to my office, other than the compensation allowed by law.
Congratulations.
Any nomination?
I'd like to nominate Margaret Diskey for president.
Any second? All those in favor? Opposed?
Hey,
Record shows 5-1 in favor. Open nominations for vice president. I nominate Pete Carroll.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? President Pro Tem, does that, will you stay the same, or does that?
That should also be
I'll
nominated.
make a nomination.
Okay, call for nomination, President Pro Tem. Okay.
Shane Hendricks, I nominate, seconded by
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Let's switch seats, Mark.
Okay. President, always, I always say, tall trees catch the most wind, and you were doing that for all of us, so thank you. And
You didn't cheer or that loud enough, Mark, when you were down there?
I was not sure as loud as I could, of course, still. But there are other nefs here, any of the nefs wish to be heard? Okay. Oh, that's it. Paul Grimes.
I prefer to, well, you go first. Okay,
Mr. Stoops. Stoops go first. Are you ready?
Vincent Supes of Selinsgrove, that was absolutely shameless. To ignore a request from the public to speak before the appointment of a municipal officer, shameless. If this is telling of the way that your administration is going to go as council president, it's not good news. Shameless.
Anyone else wish to be heard?
When there's an appointment, isn't it open for discussion? Vote on it.
I asked for a discussion of the motion, so I don't really understand the
Okay.
complaint, but I'm not going to get.
My hand was raised. I was clearly asking for the floor. You clearly saw me. You looked directly at me and you ignored me. You may have been asking for comment from the rest of the council, but you were clearly ignoring my request as a member of the public to be heard on the matter.
The mayor was running the meeting at that time.
No, it wasn't. He was.
For the appointment of
Was an appointment.
president, vice president?
No, for the appointment of the borough manager.
You spoke to the council at the last meeting, didn't you, about that?
And I specifically asked at the last meeting that you allow the public to be heard on the matter before the appointments. You looked directly at me, you
No, I
saw
didn't
my
say
hand
that.
raised, and you ignored me.
Well,
Shameless.
You have your videotape, you can see what I was looking at, you or not. So let's move on. Other person to be heard is DH&L here to speak tonight.
Has officially declined any further negotiations with Orbat Communications concerning the cell tower at the swimming pool. We made that vote due to the community response and going to keep, unity in the community. So we stepped down. That's it.
Thank you.
It's 2017, I believe, that's correct.
I think they started design 2017, is the last thing that I had seen on the PennDOT website.
Okay, so they haven't gotten to the point where they're gonna try and lay out a schedule or how they plan. Will they have meetings with us, do you think, or?
It's too early to tell, but
Okay.
not too early to start asking some
Asking questions.
questions about.
Well, I don't wanna see us get into something like Mifflinburg had.
Mhm.
I mean, they had one or two businesses go out of business, and if all traffic stopped on large sections of Market Street and Selinsgrove for a month or two, that's gonna really set some of our businesses back, and I was just wondering what their plan is. I know they got a lot of flack on how Mifflinburg's went,
Mhm.
and Northumberland hasn't even started yet, and they're getting a lot of flack, and I don't wanna see some of our businesses where the downtown's shut down for 2 months or 3 months for a street program.
Thanks, Mr.
But-
President.
Yeah, that'll come, hopefully.
Mr. Renesky, I don't have anything to report from Larson Design Group on special project.
All right, thank you. Just
It contains some highlights and different dates from the month of December. I mentioned to you the event for December 10th, PennDOT, and that the project for the ornamental streetlights will be let on February the 4th. Going down at the bottom, ongoing projects, Middle Creek signs, I'd just like to reemphasize, if you would, take the opportunity at your leisure to look at those 3 newly installed signs in the park. They'll serve as not only identification, but also assist for any emergencies at those locations, because they also include an address location. Any other questions on my report? Mr. Kerr?
I had mentioned about replacing the sign down at the compost. I mean, is that going to be done this?
That's been accomplished and posted.
Compost one was? Okay,
Yes.
okay, I haven't been down there to drop anything off?
Yeah.
So I must call in later than after the season, because I didn't, I went down there. and-
Installed it, so.
Oh, they installed it,
Yes.
okay.
That would accomplish.
Yeah, right.
It is
Okay,
there.
it is there, and then,
Yes.
good,
Yes.
excellent.
Yeah, the Public Works Department, over the last month, they did monitor the decorations, the Christmas decorations that were installed by the White Christmas Committee. Those decorations were removed today. Actually, they started yesterday and completed today. And I think they really did a nice job, and I'd like to acknowledge Marcia Lemons and Jane Point on that committee for the coordination that they did, not only amongst the volunteers, but also the borough. I did attend the most recent SPY meeting, and I understand, although I was not in attendance, they had a very successful day of Santa Fest. Starting with the decoration of the stockings and followed by the parade of the dogs, and then the entertainment at night, in the different locations. And this year, it seemed as though the 3 different evenings of activities in the borough attracted more people to the borough, participate in Late Shoppers Night and, the Santa Fest event. And so anyway, I'm hearing good things about that. Thank you.
What about running in that race? Didn't quite get to it.
Yeah.
Next is the adoption of Resolution 2016-01, which is acknowledgement of terms of office, affirmation of appointments.
This format was adopted by Borough Council, I think, first in January or your meeting in January 2013, I should say. And starting with page number, I'm going to go to number 2, because we've already basically made some appointments on page 1 and 2. But starting with page number 3, you see in bold that there are some board, committee, and your volunteer appointments that are up for consideration. So the first one I'd like to mention is Walt Nichols on Park and Recreation Board. He said that he would serve a new 5-year term, and that would expire at the end of 2020. Moving on to the next page, page 4, Planning Commission, you have terms expiring for John Work and Rocky Bear. These 2 members also indicated that they would love to continue and serve the borough for the next 4 years, a term expiring in the year 2019. Shade Tree Commission, Joan Fassel said that she would like to also renew her commitment to the borough for a new 5-year term. The library, Marcia Lennon's 3-year term expired. She opted to serve the library for a second 3-year term. Robert Bertram is a replacement for someone else's, I think it was unexpired term, and whose name I don't have for you right now, I'm sorry. But I did not put his name in bold. Diane Mangle, she serves as your vacancy board chair, so that term will be for the next 2 years. Shane Hendricks to serve on the Borough Municipal Authority, a 5-year term expiring in the year 2020. And last is Ed Mann, a 5-year term on the zoning hearing board with a term expiring 2020. You know, maybe I should not have just glossed over page number 2, and I'd like to go back to page number 2. And I want to thank you for your support of Sharon Badman and myself, but other appointed persons that serve the borough include Corby Bowersox and Richard Klein. Corby serving as your Director of Public Works, and Richard Klein as your Water Department Supervisor. This resolution would also appoint Paul Williams as the Emergency Management Coordinator and Zoning Officer. There's other appointments of professional consultants that I'm just going to say are ongoing, and there are no proposed changes in those areas. And then if I could go to the last page of the resolution, page 5, not the signature page. This acknowledges the bonds of both the borough manager and borough treasurer of $20,000. Whilst there might be a different amount that's required, we ran into this one. We were the recipient of grant funds where maybe another outside agency required amount higher than the $20,000. This resolution also acknowledges the financial institution that we use for our depositories, including First National Bank and Pliget, and also Susquehanna Bank, now known as BB&T. Pension plan, the Secretary of the Borough shall serve as the Chief Administrative Officer of both the uniform and non-uniform plans. And as you know, our plan is with the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System. Signature of checks, we always make sure that we have at least one signature of a bonded individual, and that there's always 2 signatures on checks. And they can include Borough Council President, Borough Secretary, and Borough Treasurer. Mr. Reminsky, we'll need to make a change in some cards. Mileage is reimbursed at the IRS then stated rate. And this resolution also acknowledges and recognizes the respective holidays that either the administrative employees are granted, or the non-uniform employees, which is the Public Works Department. And our 2 schedules vary ever so slightly on our holidays. Should you desire, you may make modifications to this or accept it and consider it this evening. Now, also, under Borough Council, you know that your positions that were made this evening are not yet included in this resolution. They can be reflected in this resolution if you desire it to be. Mr. Mr. Miskey, President, Mr. Carroll, Vice President, and Shane Hendricks as pro-temp.
If we add that, we'll have to republish the one.
The final version can reflect that change.
Change.
So would anyone want to entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution number 2016-01 with the mentioned changes, additions.
Second.
Second? Second. Thank you. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, give your consent by saying aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Williams. We need to monitor the old, any new business to bring before the meeting? Apparently not. Mr. Mayor, do you have any new business to bring? Any others present?
Yeah, under the Borough Administrative Reports, Section E, Item 2, what was the result of that vote? Was that just affirming the appointments that you made earlier in the meeting?
What was unanimous?
I think they were all unanimous tonight, except for the appointment of the president.
So the vote was for, just to affirm the appointments, is that it?
Yes.
So, we did see as president of the board, right? And Carol as vice president, and President Pro Tem, that's unanimous. He's not here, is that?
He's not out.
Okay.
We could probably get you a copy of that, which would help you.
Okay.
Mr. Toots, you had your hand raised?
You come back every month to ask for this. Please publish the proposed resolutions and ordinances online so that members of the community can review them from the leisure of their home and for free. Doesn't cost anything. Easy, it's transparent. Keep doing this every month.
We have a committee that has to consider that
I'd say administration.
administration. Any others who would like to be heard? Well, we completed our agenda.